guys, Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Welcome to the video. Hopefully it finds you all doing well out there. Send some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there. Guys, we're going to take a little look into Clash Royale. I'm going to react to this video that keeps popping up on my suggested videos feed here by Nidvar, I believe you say his name. Man, it's been, this video is 9 days old. But it is my suggested video. Like, YouTube really wants me to watch this damn thing. So I figured I'd watch it with you guys. Now, listen, I'm not obviously covering Clash Royale on a daily basis. I'm not even playing Clash Royale on a daily basis. However, I do still play Clash Royale, right? Because I still think, despite what we're about to listen to, I'm sure it's not going to be a glowing review because I'm in the zeitgeist still. I still see some of these videos. I was watching a Boss video a couple weeks ago talking about this update. So I know that things are not good. I know that much, right? But I also have such a casual attitude about the game, meaning that no matter how bad this video is, I don't think it's going to impact me. I'm still going to play the game just as I am right now. I haven't spent in the game in a couple years. I don't have one evolution on my account, but I still play because I still think it's the perfect game just to, like, you know, burn a few minutes, right? When you're just like whatever and awaiting whatever the hell you're doing, you know? So for me, I'm kind of content, not as a creator certainly, but just as a super casual player. Like, I still play from time to time. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I don't think that's going to change because I'm already not spending money, right? I'm not covering it anymore. I don't feel like any pressure to, you know, spend or anything like that here on YouTube. So anyway, just want to kind of start the video with that. But let's just go ahead and watch it, right? I will say one thing. I took a look at this guy's catalog on YouTube, right? So shout out to him. I'll link his channel, by the way, for you guys in the description of this video. But I saw he had a bunch of interesting videos here, a lot of downfall, maybe Clash Royale healing, right? So interesting channel here. But I saw this Clash Royale's Golden Age video, and I wanted to reminisce about the golden days a little bit, you know? And then in that video, so I was watching it ahead of this, you know, ahead of the Deserved Death video. And in this video, I saw this.
Thankfully, out of the many channels that died during this time, both Master Saint and Eclipse bit the dust, just deleting most of their content. There are some other notorious names to mention, such as Clash with Ash or Clash for Cam, as well as many other people.
I was a notorious. He put me in the bad apple category. Oh man, Nidvar, what the heck, buddy? You know, it was mediocre, not bad apple, right? I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Okay, let's go and react to the video, guys. Let's do this.
Deleting Clash Royale. Thousands more are intentionally avoiding.
One sec. I'm gonna go time and a half speed. Hopefully you guys can hang with me there. Are any of you guys like me? I listen to everything. I'm such a sicko. Everything in time and a half, time and a quarter, or 2 times even, right? Anybody out there? My brother was listening to something 4 times. I'm like, well, how the hell are you doing that, man?
Thousands of players are deleting Clash Royale. Thousands more are intentionally avoiding buying the pass Royale. Content creators are boycotting the game, and every social media platform is filled with posts poking fun at Clash Royale for releasing its worst update in history. An update that will serve as a straw that breaks the camel's back. It's been 2 years, and at long last, everyone's had enough. Clash Royale have brazenly decided to strike at the very heart of the player base, even
RIP on 2/4/25 or 4/2, I guess it's EU. I mourn the death of the game Clash Royale. Really quickly, let me pull up Google Trends. I just want to see like what the actual data says on trends. So this is interesting, guys. Anecdotal. So I haven't even heard anything yet, so I'm not like disagreeing with what he's saying. I just want to be clear though. Anecdotally, I remember way back in the day talking to Supercell, and they were like, yeah, it's weird. Whenever the community is saying the games are dead, oftentimes is when the games are thriving the most. And you're kind of seeing that on Google Trends too. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm not taking a stance here. And this is just Google Trends, right? So like, it is what it is. But you can see like, this is worldwide. You can see that like starting in March and then into April, it's been the highest in over a year in terms of popularity. Let's go back just for the heck of it, 5 years. And get that zoom out. I mean, this was the heyday in 2021, no pun intended. It's okay. Let's compare it to like, let's just go US. Not that it, just to see like where I'm at right now, where it is right now in the US. Let's go last year, last 12 months in the US. It's again, it's pretty high. It's the second highest versus May of last year. And then let's just go, I don't know, like the past 30 days, right? And it's pretty steady. Let me just, for the heck of it, go to YouTube search and just see what that is. All right, so it's about the same. YouTube search again, about the same. It's very interesting, right? It doesn't paint a full story here, but it is interesting that the data does not show any sharp decline. But anyway, let's listen more.
Even the most loyal and biggest spenders by cutting the value of the Pass Royale and Diamond Pass Royale.
Okay, so they cut the value of the Pass Royale, all bad. Okay.
In half whilst increasing the price of evolutions. Furthermore, if you're a free-to-play player, good luck in locking everything because the free version of the Pass Royale has been nerfed into oblivion. Meanwhile, chests, the hallmark of progression in Clash Royale, are no more, with the removal of those chests being so catastrophic to the point where new players are encountering issues with advanced.
It's so crazy, huh? Having no chests. It's so wild. It's weird because it strikes quite a I don't know, a juxtaposition between Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, where Clash of Clans, I'm sure you saw the latest update where they removed training time. You can just battle all the time. Feels like maybe CR kind of went in the opposite direction a bit.
Through the tutorial and actually playing in the game for the first time because the removal of chests means that they can't unlock the 8 card required to begin playing in the game. Even worse, the season shop, arguably the best way for free-to-play and even pay-to-play players alike to progress through the game, was removed from it. A singular shop in of itself was holding up progression for millions of players, and without that lifeline...
Wait, they must have fixed that, right? Fixed the new player experience. They can't get a full deck. You got to assume, this is a 9-day-old video. You got to assume they fixed that, right?
People see no reason to invest their time into the game anymore. You could get 3 evolution shards a month if you played your cards right, and now that opportunity is gone for good. Remaining loyal to the game is worthless. Spending your money on the game
So is the only way to get those now, evolutions, just to pay straight up?
is worthless. Even playing in the game is worthless. 2 years ago, the funeral bells were ringing for the game, and now this lifeless corpse is finally being lowered into the grave that it has brazenly avoided at long last, even if it's costed people hundreds or even thousands of dollars across the years. For a game once so beloved by its community, it can be hard for most who have played the game during its earlier days to believe that it would end up here. Unfortunately, the fate for Clash Royale has been a long time coming. Some would say that this was inevitable. If you're familiar with my content on the Clash Royale, I'm sure you're aware of the rhetoric surrounding several updates, those being Clan Wars 2.0, the update for losers, level 15 evolutions alongside the Lucky Drop update. If you're someone who hasn't played the game for a while and has stumbled upon this video, allow me to briefly explain these.
I'm going to go ahead and skip to 432. This will, because odds are some of you guys are familiar with that, but I also want to get this guy views too. So go ahead and check out the video if you want to hear kind of the trip down memory lane, so to speak. Also, I pulled up some of the app data from Sensor Tower. We're looking at around $4 million in revenue last month. Sometimes that is not entirely accurate, that number, but it seems to be fairly in line with where the revenue was the last year or so for the game. So again, it's a bit anecdotal, but it doesn't seem like people are absolutely, it doesn't seem like they're lowering it into the ground, the game, so to speak. But let's just keep watching.
The context, you can truly appreciate how greedy alongside ignorant a lot of these updates are. Playing Clash Royale since the introduction of level 15 has slowly but surely become a less tolerable experience with every evolution that's been released. Fair matchmaking in the game simply doesn't exist anymore, and the game is known to purposely punish you.
I do have to say that somebody with no evolutions, and I know I'm probably not in the norm. How many evolutions do you guys have, watching this video? It doesn't get incredibly frustrating, but I feel like everybody I go against obviously is I'm outmatched, obviously, and that is what it is to a certain extent, because we've always had level discrepancies and whatnot. But it does feel, I guess I kind of feel what people who were under-leveled felt for a long time, right?
If you don't spend your money on the game by pairing you up with high-level opponents or a hard counter to your deck. Furthermore, Clash Royale just straight up scam you with every Pass Royale and Diamond Pass Royale purchase that you make, allowing you to have a month or two of euphoria with a broken evolution only to snatch it away from you and turn it into just another evolution neatly in time for the release of their next evolution. If you thought that's bad, you should see some of the prices of the packs that are promoted in the
It's crazy because back in the day, I'm so old, bro. Back in the day, there were no offers like this, these super, super expensive ones. Not that I recall, at least. There were super expensive tournaments. Remember the Brenchon tournaments back in the day? I mean, I used to host a lot of those. There were $2,000 just to make a tournament in the beginning of this game. $2,000 to make a private tournament. But I think those days are long ago. Probably very few viewers actually remember those days.
Shop, as well as the multiplier that it has. There have been countless examples over the years of Clash Royale purposely inflating the value of what the magic items are worth purely because obtaining them as a free-to-play player has become borderline impossible. Clash Royale would be so much better if all the items that were charged for were cosmetic instead of directly affecting the gameplay, but they've decided to go against that and instead create one of the most egregious.
Here's the thing real quick. I'm not going to pause it this frequently, but I will say that it's a shame that this game turned so pay to win. And I'm saying this for a reason. I'm not just pandering, right? I think it's a shame because this game, unlike a lot of other games, right, that are pay to win understandably, not understandably, but like, you'll see where I'm going here. They had such a huge player base. We're talking over 500 million players. That's absolutely insane. With that sort of a player base, look at games like a Fortnite or a PUBG Mobile or whatever with similar player bases at their peaks. You have such a huge player base that a tiny bit of monetization on cosmetics actually can be an incredibly lucrative offering, right, for the developer as well. And I think Clash Royale had that at one point.
Methods of monetizing the game that I've ever seen from a mobile game. All of this focus on ruining the progression in the game, monetizing it with evolutions and magic items that would definitely influence the way you play the game isn't healthy, because all it does is create a desire to have the next broken evolution that burns out quickly instead of slowly. This decision to focus purely on profit instead of making the gameplay more enjoyable has broken any sense of competitive strategy in the game, with most of the gameplay now revolving around how broken the latest evolution is as opposed to utilizing skill. Clash Royale have had multiple opportunities to rectify the issues with the game, but they've refused to do such a thing, opting for the cheap and easy way of making money from the dwindling amount of players that actually care about the game and those who are newer and are used to mobile games being an absolute cash grab. Clash Royale's decision to remove the season shop from the game, increase prices of the evolutions by twice the amount, nerf the pass roll by 50% and remove chests, just goes to show that we're reaching the final stage of what Clash Royale wishes to be.
Man, when you put it like that, one after another, after another, after another, if he's correct, you know, it seems awful, first of all, and the appearance is that they're kind of dwindling player base. They want to make up the income, and they're doing it in all these ways, right? It's pretty obvious, I guess.
And that's nothing more than a gacha game that has you gambling your money for things that are ultimately worthless, for vanity that isn't earned and bought, and for honor and prestige that isn't worth your time. If you really want an example of this, you can just take a look at the leaderboards of the game. There's this one guy dominating the game at the moment, most likely boosting his way up there and paying his way to remain at the top. And when I look at it, just a crippling amount of sadness washes over me, because you could be doing so much more with your time and actually enjoying.
I don't like that argument, man. I hate people who judge how other people spend their time. Like, dude, if a guy wants to play a video game, then let him play a video game, you know? But whatever.
Your time, and instead you're sitting with 4 accounts at the top of the leaderboards in a glorified tower defense game that's become a gambler's.
Things I don't like is people telling anybody how to spend their time or their money, you know?
Wet dream.
As long as you're not hurting anybody else. Did you say wet dream?
There's nothing to work for anymore. There's nothing to be excited for. If a game's ability to be fun just revolves around you spending money instead of earning things, is it really a game, or is it just a glorified gambling simulator with a tower defense game loosely related to the Clash of Clans universe that happens to be affiliated with it? Worst of all, though, there are times where Clash Royale instills hope within all of us, only for all of that hope to be snatched away. On multiple occasions, I have observed a very definitive pattern of Clash Royale following the outline of a sine wave in regards to some of the updates they've introduced and released in the past. If we go back in time a bit to when level 14 was introduced to the game, Clash Royale introduced an event called Clash Royale before then, where many of your card upgrades were cut in half so you could hoard your gold and upgrade the cards you really needed to up to level 13. This update just lulled you into a sense of false security, thinking that at long last you were going to be enjoying your cards at the max level and then you'd finally be evenly matched against your opponents, only to be slapped in the face with the implementation of level 14 a few weeks later, especially when level 14 contained some extremely steep gold requirements and many people had chosen to upgrade all of their cards to level 13 instead of hoarding their gold in anticipation for level 14. I'll give you another example, the update for losers in of itself. Although it was already a controversial update because it nerfed the pass rail for the first time in a while, it did have the upside of making it easier to progress in a different manner by initially introducing the season shop and season tokens to buy a select amount of things inside of that shop for each month, which fixed the initial problems of events being more competitive, requiring you to spend gems in order to participate in them and often having the 3 loss limit, only for level 15 evolutions to come along, with you being required to earn elite wildcards and buy card duplicates alongside evolution shards that were being sold in the shop that, as for now, no longer exists in the game. Clash Royale has a habit of buttering you up after you thought about the game in a negative manner for a while, only to reveal a more catastrophic update is coming your way. I can keep going with these examples too. The introduction of
I remember Clash Royale, it was awful. It was awful. Big mistake.
The lucky drops were initially heavily promoted by Clash Royale's content creators as being extremely beneficial for progression, only for Clash Royale developers to nerf the lucky drop significantly before release, getting people hyped for an update that would have finally countered a steep progression curve that came at level 15, only...
So that was a year ago. I think that's probably right when like I stopped. So I actually don't recall this. They nerfed the free-to-play rewards right before it went live.
For that update to barely make a dent in improving the progression system. Time and time again, Clash Royale have promoted positive updates that will aid your progression through the game, and for a short amount of time, they'll provide relief and make you think, oh, Clash Royale isn't as bad as I thought it was, only to form a rug pull in many of its players by following up that positive update with an infinitely worse one that offsets any enjoyment that came from it. There's a case that can be made here that Clash Royale is intentionally psychologically manipulating its players, lulling them into that previously mentioned false sense of security by promising a rope out of the grave that these updates pull the game into, only to rip away that rope once you're climbing through it, landing at the bottom of that grave bruised and battered. If they're genuinely doing this, it has to be the scummiest behavior that I've ever seen from a mobile game company. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But when you're doing it for a third or even a fourth time, that goes from being accidental to intentional by way of repetition. I can tell that this is intentional, as this is how Clash Royale makes its money. It has a moment of bliss to pull from the depths of irrelevance and to pluck the nostalgia strings of many people's minds, before then turning around and shoving them into a pack of hungry wolves. This is not a sustainable way to run a game, and eventually Clash Royale will begin falling into a pit of irrelevancy and infamy that it won't recover from. As I said in my last video, I don't see a way Clash Royale comes back from this, and I don't see how they're going to get away with something as foreboding as their death, because that's what these updates have been doing. It's been killing the game right until we're left with what we have today. And what do the developers have to say about this situation? Nothing. One of the massive contributing factors to Clash Royale's death just happens to be the radio silence between the community and the developers. At some point, Clash Royale's developers and even the community managers used to tend to...
What's the point in removing the two? Yeah, back when Drew was, I'm embarrassed to say I don't even know who the current community manager is of Clash Royale, but I have seen this guy, I will say, Donald Smith Jr., game designer in Clash Royale at Supercell, former Magic the Gathering senior game designer, pretty cool, pro player. I have seen that he's really active, you know, on basically on a daily basis, but it seems like it's not about the pain points necessarily, but it's all about, you know, balancing, right? So he is engaging quite a bit with the player base, a lot of frustrated players, and going back and forth, but it does seem all oriented towards like basically balance and not all these pain points that we're looking at in the video. Back to it here.
Clash Royale subreddit or leave comments on YouTube videos and other social media content. Nowadays, we have no way to directly talk to them besides boycotting the game and speaking through statistics in the way of them losing money. The developers no longer reply to people or comment on videos criticizing or providing feedback for the game, and honestly, I think that's because they're just ashamed of what they're doing and they don't wish to confront it firsthand. They know their game is hated by a significant amount of the community, so trying to justify anything that they do is probably worthless in their eyes so long as they keep making money. It doesn't help that TV Royale is run by two random people that I've only started seeing popping up recently, and even so, any jokes or banter between them seems uncomfortably forced and scripted. Not only that, but I still don't have a clear idea of who Clash Royale's community manager is at this point, if there even is one. I know that the person who replaced Rubium left, and if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't blame them. It's often hard to be the voice of a community when the developers behind you just refuse to listen to their complaints, and once again, Clash Royale's developers are digging their heads into the sand and choosing radio silence above actually fixing the game, choosing to neglect it and actually allowing it to decay unlike anything before, to the point where the progression in the game has been fully RNG-ified, and that barely anything in Clash Royale itself holds any form of substance or fun anymore. When you neglect the game like this and succumb to ignorance, choosing your own voices and opinions above the decision of the community, it can sometimes lead to greatness if you're confident in your own ideas. But if literally everyone is telling you that you've made such a terrible update to the point where your own player base is boycotting the game, it's better to do something about it instead of just sitting there. But they just sit there, they always will. It baffles me how delusional Clash Royale's development team is being about this, especially because the explanation and theory surrounding Tencent having their grip over the game.
So this is like, I mean, people aren't going to want to hear it, but whatever. But Tencent does not have a grip over the game. You know, like all of these changes seem awful, first of all, but it's Supercell that has full autonomy over these Supercell games, right? Even Tencent, as they got a bigger and bigger share in Supercell, granted, as part of that entire arrangement, full autonomy in how they run their games to Supercell, you know? So, it's not taking any of the blame away from Supercell. As a matter of fact, it's putting the blame on Supercell. But it's not this big Tencent oversight thing forcing them to do things they don't want to do to the game.
It exactly makes much sense when the whole point of making a game profitable is to ensure that it's as enjoyable as possible. Although in all fairness, Tencent does have a reputation of getting their hands on games and slowly turning them into shit. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's some...
Tencent's highest grossing game, again, PUBG Mobile, is 100% free to play except for cosmetics.
Involvement there too. If you're still watching this video, I'm sure that you've seen the absolute avalanche of critical videos revolving around Clash Royale that have come out over the past 2 years. The fact that Clash Royale's developers have done absolutely nothing convinces me they've either lost all of their passion and are working purely for the money, or they're genuinely so out of touch to the point where they think making Clash Royale fully pay to play is going to somehow grow the player base instead of shrink it. People love to poke fun at Squad Busters for being one of Supercell's failures, but at least in spite of the small player base, it can be fun to play once in a while. However, I will happily laugh at Clash Royale, which used to fly close to the sun in regards to how hot and popular the game was back then during its golden age. Only for Supercell with Tencent.
It was Game of the Year back in 2016. Isn't that crazy? Man, how things have changed. The game is, it's hard to recognize it if you've been around a true OG, right, as to what it is today. I want to read some of the comments here. We'll give them a thumbs up here. And let's see. Okay, now I understand why the evolution this month was Executioner. I'm 17, started playing Clash Royale over 9 years ago. Man, back in the early betas, thanks to the Clash of Clans, thanks to being a Clash of Clans kid, watching what the game has turned into has honestly made me sad. It went from being free to play to pay to win, and now it's basically pay to play. It's infamous if Clash Royale was made by EA Video, turned into reality. Deleting the game over the last 2 years really paid off, I see. Deleting the game over 2 years ago paid off, I see. Excuse me. Pay to win is the cancer of games. Progression has been nerfed to the point where the best source of progression is through clan wars. Every update that released in the past 3 years has been the worst in history. I hear that, but it might be the case. You know, like I'm not sure if that's tongue in cheek, but it doesn't seem like they've had any bangers, you know? I'm sorry, that was a $140 microtransaction. That's like the Ultimate Edition game. That's like 4 indie games. The update for losers wasn't enough, so now the update where everyone is a loser, or everyone is a loser update. Thank you for adding the epilepsy warning. Retired player here. I haven't heard about the game for at least 3 years now, so this is kind of like me. My jaw hit the floor when you said they removed chests. Do you have any idea how much of a staple chests were in progression? For free-to-play players like me, that's our only hope of progressing. Like, I'm sorry, but they did what? My exact reaction to hearing that. Totally jaw dropped to the floor. I mean, you saw that it was one of the first things that I paused at. Why would they remove chests? Man, honestly, without chests, daily quests, or daily season tokens, there's no incentive to play this game. Man, it's such a bummer. Such a bummer to read through these comments, man. It's such a bummer as somebody who, you know, I don't really have a dog in the fight. As I told you guys at the beginning of the video, I'm just going to be a casual player. I'm not going to go back to daily Clash Royale videos here on the channel. It is what it is, you know? So, but as someone who, you know, not grew up, because I'm too damn old. I wasn't 9 when I started playing Clash Royale. But as someone who, you know, got started with Clash Royale, right? Way back pre-beta, right? When it was called Scroll. It's sad to see how much pain the community is in. It's sad to see what the game has become so far, such a far cry from where it started. I don't want to put words in anybody else's mouth. It's kind of unfair, but I kind of feel like the original creators of Clash Royale probably wouldn't be super pleased with what's become of their creation as well. And I know there could be there probably are mandates from high up or from whatever, you know, it's a company like any other company, Supercell. There could be mandates that, hey, we need to do this. We have to charge more money, right? Because it's not like the game designers on these games get to choose the price points, the monetization. They just make the cards and the games and the interactions and the balancing and all that stuff, right? The updates. But so maybe even the current team is disappointed. I'm sure they're really freaking bummed out by the sentimentality of the entire, it seems like I checked Reddit before this, the sentimentality of the entire Clash Royale player base. It's just super sad to see as somebody, again, who's just a super casual player, you know? Really disappointing, really disappointing. I want to ask you guys, especially if you are super into Clash Royale still here in 2025, right? You're watching all the content creators, you're playing every day. How do you feel about it, right? What am I missing maybe, right? I made a bunch of points. I think overall, pretty insightful and pretty on point video. I did push back in a couple areas, but I think that overall he did a pretty good job with it, right? Let me know how you feel in the comments below. It's a bummer to see, honestly. Again, kind of ending where we started. Clash of Clans seems like they're making some pretty monumental changes to really reduce pain points and friction to the player base in their current, their current audience, their current group of players, right? But now it seems like Clash Royale might be going in the opposite direction, not in a great spot. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know in the comments below. And hey, maybe I'll do an update video based on your comments so I can share some of your sentiment as well. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.